Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is June 14th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We've zoomed out here, and you can see the Pacific Ocean with the Hawaiian Islands here. Storm brewing out here way across Pacific Ocean is going to have an effect on our weather downstream here over the next few days. You can see California would be right here. A bit of a ridge protecting some of the west coast for the next couple of days. Then this ridge is going to flatten out and back up and allow for this deep trough to move over the Pacific Northwest and start to include California in a bit of a pattern change here as well. We'll take a look at the weather models in that here in a moment. And if you guys want a nice, affordable home weather station, I can't recommend this one enough. It's got a great phone app for it, and it's all solar powered. It's all wireless, ultrasonic anemometer, very highly recommended weather station. Click on that link down below. Rainfall chances this afternoon. National Weather Service San Diego kind of hit and miss there. You can see Big Bear Lake, maybe a thunderstorm out there, and you can see maybe north of the Los Angeles metro here over the higher terrain as well. But nice graphic there from National Weather Service. This is Hanford National Weather Service, again, Sierra Nevada, kind of being targeted here for the next few days as well, mainly the afternoon and evening hours. This is looking at National Weather Service Sacramento, pretty typical here from what we've been going through here recently. Wednesday, June 24th, most likely 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. We can get some lightning out there and some brief heavy rain. This is looking at a wider view of things here on the GFS. So you can see that trough elongated here across some of Southern California, big ridge over the Pacific Ocean here. Here's the Hawaiian Islands. Here's the state of California. Put this into motion. You can see the ridge kind of hanging on here for a couple more days. Starts to flatten out and back up across the Pacific Ocean. Then the deep trough really just bullseyes Pacific Northwest, tries to drive down in towards California here as well. It's going to cut off some of the thunderstorm activity across the Sierra Nevada, but it's going to bring breezy conditions and pretty chilly conditions with it as well. And even some portions of Northern California could see some snowfall across the higher terrain with the arrival of this trough. Now watch what the GFS does as we scroll further out into next week. It wants to open another trough here right off the state of California. Check that one out. This would be the morning of June 25th. Purely fantasy at this point, but would anybody really doubt that another trough and a storm system sets up off the California coastline after what's happened this year? I wouldn't be totally shocked, but right now it's just fantasy. This is looking at the GFS dynamic tropopause. Kind of shows you the heights in the atmosphere. Again, you can see the red down here. This would be subtropical and tropical air. And you can see this lobe of cold air, this trough getting set to impact Pacific Northwest and some of California here as we go on into early next week. I mean, look at that bullseye here with this next trough, and continue this GFS out into the extended forecast here as well. And you can see the next one even kind of rolling down here towards California in the Fantasyland forecast there. Now here we go. This is the European yesterday afternoon's run, 10-meter max wind gusts. Look at some of the higher terrain here. I mean, this is not typical summertime weather. Some of these gusts could be up over 50, even 60 miles per hour across some of the Sierra Nevada as this trough sets up here. We're going to have a pretty strong gradient. That includes some of the coastal areas here as well. So if you're off in the backcountry, even some of the deserts here, you could get some pretty good gusts with the arrival of this trough. So not your typical summertime weather. So have that in the back of your mind if you're headed out to the backcountry. This is looking at the European. We're not showing a lot of precipitation coming up here. You can see the thunderstorms popping up daily, Thursday, Friday, maybe one more around there Saturday. By the time this trough starts to set up here, we start to erase some of that thunderstorm activity across the Sierra Nevada here. But we'll watch out just to make sure where this trough sets up, because it could reintroduce thunderstorms of its own across some of the region here. But as we go off into the extended forecast a little bit more, you can see not too much precipitation expected for the most part across a lot of the state. That can still change. We could still bring some down here, but we'll watch that as we go day by day. This is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly. This is one day at a time. And as we go through the weekend and on into early next week, you'll clearly see the cold air. Look at these temperatures well below normal here across a lot of Northern California and Nevada, really the entire state of California here as we go on into mid next week coming on there. So, and as we scroll out to the future a little bit more, you can see even the arrival of that next trough, keeping California below average here towards the end of June. This is looking at snow water equivalent. We've been watching this one, over the last few weeks. Still over 11 inches of water equivalent. So it's a lot of water up there in that snowpack still for this time of year. Just about the 90th percentile there. So it can still be bringing some flooding concerns across the higher terrain. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through June 23rd. This is the precipitation. Does include some in Northern California and Central California. So we'll watch that with that trough coming down. You never know just how it's going to set up. But right now looks like not a lot of precip, breezy conditions, and below average temperatures. And you can see that reflected here in the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook through June 27th there, and 8 to 14 day precipitation maybe above average for some in Northern California there. This is all the way out towards July 7th, kind of that signal here across the Southwest to remain below average here all the way through July 7th. So yeah, anyway, yeah, we'll continue to watch this trough and see how it goes and see if the GFS is onto something with that trough later on in through the period. But right now it's purely fantasy. Otherwise, leave some comments below, click like, subscribe if you want to get that weather station. It helps the channel out a little bit. Click on that link down below and you save 10% off. But otherwise, we'll do this again tomorrow and I will talk to you guys then.